JC, Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we got another fantastic show coming your way. And this show is special because there are so many things going on in our world, our society, our countries. I mean, that sometimes we have to sit back and just think about uh, what can we do if we can do anything to try to get people on the same sheet of music, try to get people on the same, have the same focus, and try to love each other, not hate each other. Got so many partisan politics going on right here, and a lot of people thinking if it's not this way, you're wrong. If it's not this way, you're wrong. I believe that we all have to work together, and so we're gonna talk about that on this great show today. We're gonna talk about how things are. Can we fix the mess that we are in today, or are we doomed? You know, I hate to think of the latter end of that because I think if we all start to sit back and look at each other, work together, we can fix anything. So I tell you, wherever you're watching this show at, if you're watching on E360 television, wow, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, over 20 plus other live streaming networks, you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments and just put any comments in there that you would like for us to share. And this great guest, what we're going to introduce in a minute, will answer any question that you might have. So I tell you, Michelle is off today, and we got an absolutely fantastic guest co-host, my friend, Dr. Angela Sees. How are you doing today, Doc?
I'm great. I'm marvelous. Thank you so much. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful, especially after that workout that we had earlier today. We did an aerobics class, and you know,
Yes.
I and you and Michelle, you guys got up and did your own thing, and I went and did my 6 mile hike, and those are some of the things, stress relievers that I believe that we need in order to have a equal balance, in order to be able to think straight, in order
Right.
to try to fix some of these problems that we might be having in the world today. Because in order to fix a lot of these problems, we have to think, and we have to be able to identify these problems. So,
That's
uh,
right.
so Angela, I'm excited about this guest today. You know, I'm excited about Andrew Caldarelli.
Mhm.
He's been on the show before. Absolutely fantastic young man.
Mhm.
And wow, he is going to educate us today. And hey, how you doing out there, Terry Sue? How you doing? Good afternoon to you as well. And so I'm excited about this young man, and I tell you, I can't wait to get this thing started. So, Angela, first of all, can
Mhm.
you tell our viewers and our listeners the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and then we're going to introduce this great guest and get him on to educate us.
Okay. Yes. Yes. The purpose of our show is to get to know the entrepreneur, inspirational speaker, the trainer, and coach, Andrew Caldarella. He's going to discuss the challenges and obstacles encountered growing up. He's going to discuss his book, The Way 7 Revolutionary Steps of Living a Meaningful Life and Making a Real Difference in the World. And we really need that. We need to know how we can work together to make a difference in the world and make the world a better place. And we're going to discuss the group that he has created that's called The One and how it can work as a significant starting point for everyone. We'll have Andrew Caldarelli. He's a native of Detroit, Michigan. Okay. Okay. Yes. He's acquired several degrees. He's a best-selling author. He's a coach. He's a martial artist, a yogi. He's a health and fitness fanatic, and that's is where it is that's exactly what you need. You have to have a good balance of health and wellness, oneness with yourself, and peace. Yes. He's a serial entrepreneur. He has run successfully a strategic consulting firm for over 20 years. So he knows what he's talking about. 20 years of experience. You can't go wrong, right?
You
So for
can
the listeners,
he can't go
yes,
wrong with 20 years of experience, and I
no,
think
no.
I tell you, why don't we just bring this great guest, and Andrew, welcome to the show. Welcome back, my friend.
Hey,
Welcome back.
everybody. Thank
How
you.
you
Thanks,
how you
James.
doing? How you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. Just flying in. You know how it is.
Man, miss you, man. Miss you since you've been on the show. Last time a few months ago, I think about 6 months ago, and
Yeah.
you enlighten our viewers and our listeners, and I know you're getting ready to do the same thing again. So, welcome back to the show. Hey, my
Thank
friend.
you.
So, can you tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit more about you?
Sure.
We know that you grew up in Detroit, but just give them a quick highlight who this great man is.
Sure. Absolutely. Everybody always wants me to start at the beginning, so I'll do that. First, my name is Andrew Caldarella. That's like Cinderella. It's Calder instead of Cinder because I'm the male version. And yes, I am looking for my princess to come rescue me, hopefully. um, as you said, I was born in Detroit, Michigan, 1966, to parents fighting for the civil rights movement. I was born with dyslexia, other learning disabilities, as well as a lazy eye. Now, the lazy eye meant I was seeing 2200 vision out of that eye, which is legally blind. They actually put a patch over my good eye to make me look out of my bad eye to help strengthen it. I don't know if you can imagine this kid walking around with the patch on. He can't read, he can't write, he can't do math, pretty much mocked, called stupid every day, thrown in trash cans, almost drowned. I even had teachers ridicule me in school, telling me I was too stupid to learn anything, I should just drop out. Needless to say, this led me down a pretty dark and dreary path. I was a really energetic, happy kid, and after a while of this, I didn't really want to wake up anymore. But with the help of my mom and a special teacher, my sister and whatnot, my family, I was able to get through, and I did kind of come out of my shell in 11th grade, became the school leader, vice president of school. I've always been an athlete, track, cross country, basketball, martial arts, you name it. Went on to college, got degrees in religious studies, philosophy, and speech communications. Got a job in Japan right after school, traveled the world, started a lot of different companies, businesses, worked at pretty much every job you can imagine, just trying to stay alive, put myself through school and everything. But as this was going on, and this is where this all comes in with the book, I had this greater mission, and it all started when I was really young. I had a lot of spiritual experiences, and I always had this idea that, inside of me, there was always this light, this good person, but it wasn't being respected out in the world. And it was like my mom kept telling me it's not going to be like this, and all these great people have certain learning disabilities like you did, and you just need to hang in there. And again, it kind of led me down this path, like why is it this way? How can we become the best people we can be and fix our world so it kind of reflects our higher values? And after 30 years of work on this book in 2015, I was kind of sorting out the beginning and ending, and I kept finding my references to this is key to true success. And I put all these together, and I found these 7 steps, and I put them in order. And seriously, it was like a secret code got unlocked. I could see how all these golden threads and universal truths that I had found over all these years, I could explain it to people in a way they could actually understand it. It was a little bit more digestible than just reading some encyclopedia. And I kept sharing my findings with people, and everybody said, yes, this is correct. This is right. This is what people need to know. And again, I have dyslexia, so it took me a long time to get out and get the book done. 2020, of course, right at the start of the pandemic. And that's kind of where I'm in right now. I've just started going on shows. I've been on over 70 different shows talking about the solutions I found. I started groups, like you said, the one tribe, the one movement, the one party, just trying to get this all out there. I'm just one guy. I've been crushed by COVID like everybody else, business-wise, and it's a tough time. But I believe that this message, everybody keeps telling me I'm bringing hope and showing them a way that we can actually step by step do this and fix our world and become our best. So that's what I'm doing, man. I know that was a little while, but hopefully gives you a little bit of insight on what I'm doing here.
Wow, but Andrew, you brought something up that's very important. Because people are always going to tell us that we can't do this and we can't do that, but you found a way where you identified with yourself and you realized that you could do anything that you set your mind to, even though people are telling you that you're not going to do these things. So, Andrew, can you tell our viewers and our listeners what is one adjective, and tell us why, that describes you and who you are?
Persistent, I guess. I never stopped believing. One, I had a lot of spiritual experiences, and if you really know, like, your true self, who you really are inside, it's this wonderful being. Everybody is, and it's bringing that out. This isn't heaven. This is a testing ground, a training ground, a huge challenge to see if you'll live up to the higher, qualities of what it is to be human and make the right choices and become a better person. And I always felt like my internal world was bright and light, but the external world was so filled with darkness and hatred and just misinformation and everything else that it just was this huge dichotomy. And every time I talk to people too, even now, it's like we all want the same things. Everybody keeps telling us you're divided, we're divided, we're divided. You'll never solve this. Everybody's hating each other on both sides. They'll never listen. They'll never understand. They'll never, and it's like, okay, but at the heart of all of this, we all want to be loved. We want to have a healthy life. We want to have, a great functioning government, businesses that respect us, care for the world, care for their people. We'd like to, be happy, have great relationships, all these things. It's like I talk to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or anything else. We're all human beings. And because of the human conditions under which we live, it forces us into the same situations. And it's this same oneness of being human on one world, and this shared common reality that we have is where we can start to find this basis of the solution, because it is in all of us. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense.
Yes, it does. And thank you for sharing that. And with that you've shared, you're a best-selling author. Congratulations on that. Can you give us an overview of the Way 7 revolutionary steps that you've generated in the book?
Absolutely. When I explain this, I always feel like I have to kind of set it up a little bit. So what I have found is that if you're going to get everybody on the same page, facing on the same direction, kind of standing on a firm foundation so we can actually become ourselves, our best self, and fix our world, we have to start big picture. So within the book and within this new Life Essentials Masterclass that I'm just starting to put out right now, I just finished shooting it, so it's in the can, as they say, so it'll be out in the next week or so. The idea is to go big picture. So what I do is I start with what is the meaning of life, and I go through the rules to life, and then we get into other big topics like what is the true goal of life, the difference between success and true success. And then I go down even further and show you the solution that all of humanity has been seeking and the 4 parts of it that it has to have. And then the 7 steps come into play. And that's exactly how we can walk down these 7 steps and become the best people we can be. And you mentioned the book, The Way. The Way is 3 books. So the first one's out. The other ones have been written. They're just in editing. And the first book covers all of the philosophy and all the basic information that we need to know. The second book covers a lot more details on how to actually build your daily life into the life that you ultimately want to live and have your dreams come true. And the third book is focused at families and children and how we can help them, like raise them with the best practices and virtues from the very beginning so that they don't have to relearn things later in their life, if that makes sense. But I can go through some of that if you'd like.
I tell you, well, we're gonna take a break, but we're gonna get back to that, and we're gonna hit the book up and really find out why you decided to write it, and all the great things that you have in there. But we're gonna take a station break, and I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation with Andrew, all you have to do is just go to the comment section, ask this great man any question that you want to. And I tell you, he's brilliant. He's doing a lot of great things, and he's going to bring a lot of insight. So I tell you what, we're going to pick it back up with Andrew shortly after the break. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I tell you, we got this absolutely fantastic guest on the show. And yeah, he was talking about his book. We're gonna get off into his book, but we also, before we get off into his book, we're gonna get off into him and really find out what makes this young man ticks and what makes him click, because he's really a fascinating guy. And just like with anybody, as you blossom, there are sometimes that we have problems growing up, or we have experiences that help shapes who we are today. And so a lot of people sit back and they think, well, wow, that person was born just like that. He was born on top, or whatever that was. It's not always the case, because if you don't go through trials and tribulation, Andrew, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not gonna help you shape into being the person that God gave you purpose for, and where you are able to help others. So, Andrew, my question to you is, first of all, did you have any challenges growing up that you remember today, and that you reflect back on it and say, okay, by me making this adjustment here, I could be helping someone else out. Can you talk to our viewers and listeners about that?
I'm not sure I understand exactly, but it's like if something I did in my past where I helped somebody because of my experiences.
No,
Is
I
that
was saying, did you run into any challenges, when you was growing up that helped you create the business that you're doing today,
Oh, yeah,
that helped you? I mean, you're doing a lot of great things, my friend. I'm just gonna tell you.
I
And
appreciate
but
that.
but I say that nothing was easy with anybody. Maybe it might have been with you,
No,
but
no.
we all have challenges.
Yeah, no, I think it all did prepare me. Honestly, I don't believe anybody should go through what I went through, and I think that that's part of what we need to fix in our society. You can challenge kids to become their best without putting them through hell. For everybody like me that went through horrible bullying and all this self-image issue, it's maybe 1 out of 1,000 make it out. Even the ones that do have major scars that they have to deal with for their entire life. So um, I don't believe that those experiences, while they did make me into who I am, and I've had this discussion with a lot of people. It's like the idea that, it's the bullied people that come up and they do all this great stuff in the world. I was like, I could have done great stuff in the world if people would have just encouraged me and helped me become a really good person without all the horror I went through and wanting to kill myself and feeling worthless and everything else. So, um, while it did make me into this person, I think I could have been even a better person and more successful if I really had, the proper upbringing and society to go into. But as far as that goes, as far as my abilities to see the problems, find solutions, implement them, and help other people do it, that's kind of my superpower. While I had all these learning disabilities and all this stuff, they found out later I'm an actual genius in abstract thinking and all these other areas. And some people call me some type of polymath or whatever, but it doesn't mean I could go back and do math or, all this other stuff well. It just means my brain works differently. It's wired differently. It's connected differently. And I think that's one of the beauties of humanity, is that we're not all the same. And that's what allows us to figure out the solutions. And everybody's interested in different things. That's why we have doctors and nurses and, artists and all this different stuff, because we're not the same. And I think that it's the oneness in our humanity is the diversity of humanity, if that makes sense. So I think this understanding of like being on the spectrum or having these learning disabilities is really, it's not a disability, it's thinking differently. And we don't always respond well to the cookie cutter approach to teaching, but we do to other ways. And if you can bring out these kids, like oftentimes they have some other ability that's really good. If you could help them compensate for their disability, but then bring out their abilities, I think our society would be a much better place, because we're missing out on so many solutions and good people adding to the positive of society because they've been bullied and ushered out of school because they've been seen as worthless when they're really not. So I don't know if that's a long-winded answer, but yes, I think all of these experiences and traumas showed me how to find the solutions that I brought into the way and everything else I'm doing.
Yeah. So for some of our listeners, our viewers that might be just listening to you right now, and they sense some likeness because they have been challenged, or they have been bullied, they have been told that you're not going to amount to anything. What word or advice would you give them to ensure that the challenges that they might be experiencing, that they know that there's light at the end of the tunnel if they just believe in themselves and not be defined by what other people want them or see them as.
Yeah, that was my whole challenge as a kid, because I would go to school and out in the world, I was the stupid idiot. You know what I mean? And I come home and my mom was like, "You're not. They don't understand who you are. They can't see you, and it's who you are inside that matters." And I couldn't see well, so I had a really vivid internal life. I'm very creative. Hung out with Casper the Ghost all the time. He was I don't know if you remember Casper the Ghost, but he was like this
Oh
this
yeah.
this guy that wanted to have friends. He never had friends. He was all alone. So in my dreams and in my fantasy world, it was like Casper used to bring me to hang out with God and have these conversations and do all this trippy stuff. And it was always like, and this is what I want everybody to always understand, especially if you have faith. And it's nothing about religion. This is about you and God, right? You're created in the image of God. We're all the children of God. It's your spirit and your soul that matter. And this is who you really are. The external world is not, right? So in my heart, it was always, I'm a light being, we're all energy. So I'm this light being inside. And as soon as it gets out here, they're not seeing me. So I think the important thing is to always hold on to that wonderful part of yourself that wants to be a good person and do good things and have this wonderful life, and that spirit of wonder and wanting things to work out, and that hope. Because if you lose that, if you fall to the dark side, and again, I walked a very dark path, people beating up on you and treating this way makes you feel horrible, and then you feel like you're angry and you get revengeful and you have rage and all sorts of issues to deal with. So to walk from that, just so people know, I have a video out on how to overcome negative thinking, depression, and suicidal thoughts, as well as one on how to overcome addiction. There's other videos out there that I'm doing all the time. Not the best person yet on doing these, but I think the message everybody keeps telling me is good. So I'm just starting out and trying to really get all this out there. I think the fundamental point is that we're all, like I said, the children of God, made in the image of God. We're all wonderful, beautiful people. You got to hold on to that. No matter what the darkness is around you, it's that challenge, right? Can you hold on to your true self in the darkest hour? And if you do, right around the corner, they always say the darkness before the dawn, right? That's not literally true. What it means is right around the corner, there can be something to change your life. So if you hold on long enough, you keep persisting, don't stay where you are in hell, walk through it, get out. It'll eventually work out. You know what I mean? Especially if you join with other people, take all the steps that I outlined. It is absolutely 100% possible.
Oh yeah, so I think Andrew was going to ask you question number 6, the title of the show. So you came up with the title of the show. Can we fix this mess, or are we doomed? First of all, Andrew, can you please explain to our listeners and our viewers what you mean by that statement?
Sure.
And let's go into detail, because you and I already talked about it, and I think it's fascinating.
Yeah. I've been on about 70 shows now, interacting with people, reading my book, and I'm finding that there's a lot of what I call, we have the boomers, everybody's talking boomers. There's a lot of doomers, start with a D, right? And the doomers are people that see all this horrible stuff, right? And they lost hope. They see the only way to fix everything is to mass murder, death, destruction, burn it all down, start over. And what I'm trying to say to you guys and everybody is, look, I get it. I'm the James and I just talked about this. We all see that the human race is doomed if we do not get our act together. What I'm saying to you is that there is a positive way to do this, right? Through love. And I know that sounds, pie in the sky or whatever, but it's only because you don't know the way and the one and how this all works. And I'm not sure I can do it all total justice on the show. That's why I wrote a book. I'm doing these videos and whatnot. But the whole idea behind the big picture is, look, there are literal golden threads and universal truths that if we understand a wide variety of them, will change who you are. And I keep sharing these with people, and it's, all different parts of your life, right? Let me say to you like this. It's like, you can only be the best person you can be is if you keep all these different parts of your life in balance. You ever see that guy balancing sticks or balancing plates on sticks? Your life is like that. Your relationships, your finances, your health, every major part is represented there. If any one of them falls down, it can seriously ruin you, including our society. So, but if you know the best ways, and what I call them best practices on how to handle your health, your relationships, your society, and all these different areas of your life, the major ones, it can help lift you up and help you become a better person. So what I found is actually over all these 30 years, right, you're doing all this research in all these different areas, trying to find all these bits of knowledge. It's impossible for everybody to read all these thousands of books and do all this research. And I kept going out there and trying to find it, and it wasn't there. So I put it all in one place so we can all kind of get on the same page and then take the step forward instead of being 50, 60, 70 years old going, yeah, I finally learned something I wish I knew when I was a kid. So that's kind of like the big picture idea is like, if we understand literally like the meaning of life, the true goal of life, how to achieve the true goal of life, all the steps to actually make this happen in your life and our society, it'll change the world. And like I said, every time they, call me on it, they're like, there's no way, this pie in the sky, you're a Pollyanna. And then they look into it. I've had people come back months later after reading the book and they're like, you're right, this is the way to do it. Sorry I said what I did. So that's why I keep doing this, James. It's like I have hope. I'm trying to bring hope. I'm just hopefully people aren't so jaded that they just turn away and just like, that's my greatest fear, is that we're just too late. I hope I'm not.
Yeah. Of course you're not. It's never too late. There's always work to do, and you're on the right path of doing it and sharing your story and sharing your strategies that work, and teaching people how to implement them is really great.
Thank you. Appreciate that. My mom keeps telling me that too. She goes, "You're not late." So.
Yeah, it's never too late. It is never too late. So will you tell us about the one group? Tell us the purpose of the one group and
Sure. Absolutely. So the idea is that we all have to gain knowledge, and then we have to take actions to actually implement these different, strategies. So the idea of the way and the one is we get the information through the way. And again, I'm presenting that in not only book form, but through videos and everything else. And then we take actions through the one. And I've created the one tribe, the one movement, and the one party. The idea between the one tribe is kind of a place where and again, this can be physical as well as virtual, where we all meet, have fun, make money, share information, gain information, support each other, all that kind of stuff. It's more of like the general tribe. The one movement is really centered in the fact that we need to make some major changes in this world if we're really going to survive and thrive. Everybody knows that. The problem is that all the good people that are fighting for this either don't know how to do it, and that we're too siloed, we're too segregated. Just look at how many environmental groups there are and how many start all the time, how many civil rights groups and how many start all the time. The problem is that all of these efforts are being diluted to the point of ineffectuality. And we've been doing it this way for thousands of years. So I'm saying to you is like, we need a new way to do this. And what I'm saying is we need a one movement where all these movements can join within, as well as all good people, businesses, and organizations, to then focus on some of these big issues and fix them. Now, just imagine this. Imagine 1 billion people in a group, all the environmental and justice groups, everything else you can think of. And we then take these 1 billion people, some of them are donating, they're clicking on petitions, they're showing up for action items in certain places. Imagine we could do with like saving the lungs of the world. I don't know if people know this, but the Amazon and the Congo Basin, they're called the lungs of the world. They're literally being cut down and destroyed right now. It's like, if you talk about insanity as a human race, let's not destroy the lungs of the world, people. I mean, this is common sense, yet greed and inattention and everything else has led to this. But we as a group, right, the one movement could go in there and make deals, force these companies to not do different things. We could buy land. We could make deals with the local people as well as the governments. Same thing with civil rights. I mean, it's human beings all around the world should have a certain respect for being human. Nobody should have to stand up and say, I'm also human anymore. We're all human. And with that comes a certain amount of respect and decency and everything else on how we're treated.
Hold that thought, Andrew. Hold it. We got to
go ahead.
Break. Hold that thought. We're going to pick it up right after the break. But yes.
Me, I can go on and on, James. No worries. No worries.
The one group, I want to hear a lot more about that, because I think the world need to know a lot about this, because it's so encouraging, it's so real. So we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back and we're going to pick it up with Andrew, and we're going to delve deeper and deeper off into this subject. We're going to talk about the one. We're going to talk about all of these other great things. We're going to pick it up again with his bestseller. He's got a lot of them, by the way. But I tell you what, we're going to take a station break, but we'll be back shortly and pick it up with Andrew. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. See you shortly.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the Jason Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / the Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, Andrew is really educating us. He was talking about the one, but he was also talking about the way. So in order, I believe, Andrew, and correct me if I'm wrong, in order to truly understand the one, you have to understand the way to get you there, and a lot of different things that goes with what he was telling us earlier about the way. So Andrew, how does the way help us become our best physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritual, financially, in relationships, with family, and everything we do? Can you explain that to our listeners?
Sure, absolutely. And that's the whole foundation of why I'm doing this. I kind of mentioned that earlier. It's like life is like that plate or that guy balancing the plates on the sticks, right? If any major aspect of that falls down, it can seriously ruin you. Say it another way, it's like we're only as strong as our weakest link, and it's often what you don't know that can hurt you the most. And every time I've trained people and gone through coaching and everything, it's like I said, it's what they don't know. It's their weakest link that is what is the biggest problem in their life. So if we as a human race want to really become the best people we can be, we need to shore up all these areas of our life so they do not fall apart. So you're immunized against most of the traumas that can happen in life. And if we help create a better society and balance it out with the reflection of these values and virtues and best practices, then our society can become better. Let me say it like this. It's like, if we're going to become a better world, or we're going to create a better world, we need to become better people. If we're going to become better people, we need a clear path that gets us on all the same page in all these critical areas of life, as well as unites us in a way that will allow us to make these big changes in our life and in our society. And again, when I share this idea with people, it should make sense to you that if you have the right knowledge, and again, best practices, thousands of years worth of human knowledge gone into figuring out, you name it, whether it be how to hydrate yourself, what communication skills, whatever it may be, waking up, sleeping. Now, if you understand all these different things on how to make yourself into a better person, this is how the way works. It's like over every 90-day cycle, which is how you build a habit. It takes about 90 days. As you integrate these virtues and best practices into your life and all these critical areas, you will literally make yourself into a better person. It will naturally happen because you're taking the actions, building these habits that will make you into a better person. And like I said, when I found people, it's always, like I said, they just don't know. So if they know and then they take the actions, that's how we do it. And the same thing within our society. It's like there are best practices. None of the systems, I just want to say this, none of the systems of our society are evil. Educational system, government, business, whatever it is, it's the fact that we as human beings are made with a flaw, right? It's a big challenge. They call it original sin. It's the idea that we can fall to the dark side. We can become corrupted. We can become evil, but we can also become virtuous. We can become good. We can become our true self. But the world doesn't really have a clear path that really delineates this, and will show everybody what the difference is and how to get there. And that's what this way is about. And that's what the masterclass is about. It literally does show you the difference between good and bad, right and wrong, vice and virtue, and how we can actually create a better world together. So again, what I always go to is, I don't care who you are, where you live, you want the same things as everybody else. There's like, this isn't oneness as in communism and cultism. This is oneness as in a coach showing you how to run faster, and everybody, instead of moving your arms sideways, is helping you move your arms forward so you're getting a better run. That isn't conforming, that's learning how to do it your best, right? And that's what I'm saying. There may be 4 best practices on any one thing. Some of them work for some people better than others, but if you know them, we can all become better people. And again, it's about 90 days, building habits, going out in the world and making these great changes happen. So that's kind of the basic idea. Does that make sense? I want to share 3 laws with people that will change the world, if I could do that.
Sure.
All right. So when I talk to people, I always say, most of the problems of the world, there's 10 laws that I go through in step 4 of the way. And there are 3 of these that can change the entire world right now if we just all believe them and kind of integrate them into how we be. And they are, one is respect life. The second is, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous right now, so I just get a little distracted sometimes. So it's respect life. The second one is all people are equal. And the third one is to treat people as you would want to be treated, which is the golden rule. And the idea is like, respecting life is caring for our world, because this is literally the womb of life, right? It supplies our clean water, food, everything we need. Equality is the fact that we're all human beings, right? That we're all one human family. And if you understand, and again, I go through this in detail, what equality means, it doesn't mean you have to like everybody and all that. It has to do with respect and common courtesy and treatment and all these kind of things. And the third one about the golden rule, this has shown up in every faith. It's kind of the cornerstone of humanity, is that if you treat people as you want to be treated in any situation, or at least your loved ones, you can kind of start to see how we should care for each other. And again, these 3 work together. So it's caring for our world, seeing each other as equals, and the golden rule. And if you look at any issue in the world, from George Floyd's murder, you could never do that, to the destruction of the Amazon, you certainly couldn't do that, to the way that we just treat people online and the names we call each other, the way the political parties keep demonizing and dehumanizing the other side to make them seem stupid and unhuman, so that you can then, feel free to do harm to them and whatnot. This is like what I talk about is like the fall of humanity. Are we going to be corrupted, or are we going to turn to the light side and walk down this path of love? And it sounds, like I said, a little pie in the sky, but seriously, it's the whole point of religion. Every Christian should want the path of love, right? That's what we're trying to do. But there's so many Christians that are pointing their finger at everybody and, feeling self-righteous and even talking about hurting people and murder and all the rest of it. And it just doesn't go in line. So again, that's what I'm saying is like these 3 laws, if you internalize them, equality, caring for our world, treating others as you want to be treated, seriously, we could fix most of the world. Most of the problems in the world wouldn't be happening right now if we imbibe those. Does that make sense to you?
That makes so much sense, Andrew. It makes so much sense. And I just love your 3 laws. The values that you because you have to respect and love one another, and you have to most importantly, you want to treat others as you want to be treated. I don't think anybody want to be treated disrespectful, but they do it. That means that if that's what they feeling, that I think they feel comfortable when somebody disrespect them. I just don't have that in my heart to disrespect or treat somebody wrong. My heart would not allow me to settle with that one.
Let me say this. I think one of the problems is like maybe the person is a horrible person or has done something horrible to you. The way to get out of revenge and that whole horror is to feel sorry for them. Okay, if you can feel pity for this person, whatever they went through that makes them be this horrible person, that's kind of the starting point of you being able to forgive them. Forgiveness is not about acceptance of what they did, right? It's still wrong and whatever. It's about understanding they're human, they're flawed, and you can forgive them so you don't feel the revenge and rage and everything else within your soul that's going to lead you down a dark path, right? It's about, like I said, that's the start, I think, where we Democrats and Republicans in America are wanting to go to war. I talk to people all the time that think a civil war is brewing. The only solution is death for everybody that's a Democrat or a Republican or whatever. What I'm saying to you is that's the dark side. Okay, I want to say that, that's evil talking to you. A lot of people think it's the God saying this. I mean, certainly the Crusades, the Inquisition can prove that even the good can be turned to evil. So what I'm saying to you is you really seriously, if you're taking these dark roads and it's hatred and it's violence and it's destruction and it's burning and you think you're on the good side, you're not. Every evil act that's ever been done by human beings on this planet pretty much have been done by people thinking they're doing good when they're doing evil. So you really have to understand the difference before you walk, because if you go down this dark path again, especially in this age with the weaponry we have, we're never coming back. It's like total control by the dictators again, with armies of robots and machinery and everything else that will keep you in line and you won't be able to do anything. So we, as a human race, either stand up for freedom and oneness and the idea of goodness and all the rest of it, or we're going to fall to the dark side. And that's the idea of the doomers, right? Don't be a doomer and just sit around and let it all burn. Let your focus on this and your worry and your absolute sickness of it to spur you to do something good. And if what I'm offering is the answer, even as part of the solution, it is the right thing to take a look at and to help with. Otherwise, you're part of the problem, right?
You're absolutely right. So we're going to take a station break, but we want to pick it up when we get back, because this is so fascinating and so interesting.
Yes.
But most importantly, it's so true. So if you want to be part of the conversation, all you do is go to the comment section. Again, it's not too late. You can ask Andrew any question you want to. We're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly with more Andrew. It's your life. I'm sorry. It's your life. It's your life. It's your life. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. See you shortly.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and got my fantastic guest co-host, Dr. Angela C's here. And Angela, this guest right here is absolutely fantastic, and he is on fire.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I appreciate that. I have no idea what I'm even saying.
Of course you do.
I know, just being on shows and things, it's just a little surreal sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, and he's really putting it down, Angela, and he's bringing up things that most people don't even want to think about, but you need to, in order for us to help heal some of the problems that we have in this earth, and especially in the United States of America. We have to be able to talk about these things. We have to be able to agree and disagree upon certain things. We have to be able to get rid of the partisan views and learn on how we can work together. You know, regardless of our differences that we might have. That's the only way that we are going to be able to survive on this planet. Otherwise, just like the title of the show, can we fix this or are we doomed? Just like I said, Andrew, I would like to think that there is a possibility that we can come to some common ground, and a lot of these things people can learn a lot of these things from you just by attending your seminars, by enlisting you in your coaching and training programs, and that's what I want to talk about. We got the better part of 6 minutes to go in the show, but I want to talk about your coaching programs and your training programs. Can you explain that to our viewers exactly what that is?
Sure, absolutely. Uh, as I said, it's like reading a book isn't the, the thing nowadays. Everybody likes watching videos and interacting. So along with the book, I am doing all sorts of different videos. There's some out there you can just watch right now. I have a Life Essentials Masterclass that's going to walk through a lot of these big ideas to help us get on the same page, as well as give you details that can change your life and help fix our society right now. It's called Life Essentials Masterclass. You can go to my website, 7wayme, that's the number 7, WAY.me, and just click on that big button. It's literally been shot. I just finished the last one last week. We're starting to put it up, so just bear with me. I'm trying to start everything. The whole idea here is that I also work with people one-on-one, but I can't work with everybody one-on-one, right? It's impossible. And if I want to help change the world, we're going to have to make this available to everybody. So this first class is free, free Life Essentials Masterclass. There's a lot of other videos out there, but you can also work with me one-on-one. I do that with small groups, sometimes families, friends, some organizations, as well as individuals. And so you can contact me and do that. And a lot of times with a coach, you get a little more, obviously, motivation. They can see things that you can't normally see to help you go faster in life. I think one of the biggest things for me right now is that it's like these differences that we're all told, like we need to accept and move on. I don't believe that is always necessarily true. I believe we're being divided because we don't have true solutions. If you only give, and this is the idea of the right and left, and why these old parties are all false, is that they only embrace some virtues like financial, responsibility, these kind of things, but they don't embrace the other virtues along with that. It's like the idea of law and order without the virtue of justice in there becomes what? Law and order it could be communism, right? It could be a dictatorship. Whereas with justice, it becomes something much greater. So I believe all solutions, true solutions, will bring most people to the table to agree with. And if you don't agree, if you listen to that person, you can find something that you can then add to make it even a better solution. I think that the problem is that we're not listening to each other. Our leaders do not want to embrace any ideas from like the other people, and they create this us-them reality so that they can gain more power, wealth, and fame for themselves instead of implementing real solutions that would actually benefit society. And you see that with the parties all the time, where they do things and don't do things to play off of the other party to make them look bad or whatever else. So it's like, for me, and this is the idea of the one party, is that we need a new political party that's going to help implement real solutions for all the people instead of the divided people, which is what we have right now. I know we only have 6 minutes, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense.
That makes a whole lot of sense, and you're right. I mean, first of all, I believe, Andrew, and you bring it up. We have to listen to one another. We have to listen to one another without automatically having a set opinion, or having a set answer or set rejection before the person even get their ideas out. And that's what I think the different parties are, regardless of what the left set is or the right set is. It's going to be someone in the party just is not going to listen and not going to be willing to. And I hate to use this word compromise, but I believe that's as important. That just like you mentioned earlier about respect, that's so important. And even if you disagree, you still have to be able to respect each other.
Right.
And
unless they're doing something that's unrespectable, right? Abusing people, things like that. I think there's a limit that where that's true, and meaning I have to respect you as a human being, but I can respect you as a human being to show you where you're wrong, to help you become a better person too. Respecting other people's failings and wrongness doesn't help them. Being a toady and a yes man only makes the leaders go further and further, down the corruption path and the dark side. So I think calling each other out respectfully and showing them what they're doing is wrong in a better way without pointing your fingers. It's like helpful advice and showing people the light way, the light path, the good way is what we need to do. We need to turn the dark into the light if we're going to win. Only way good people win is if we either stop the evil from rising or we change it into the good. We're never going to win if we go to war, because now we're doing all the dark side stuff. We're killing each other, we're fighting, we're losing our minds, seeing our brothers and sisters be murdered and all this stuff. So the only way the good people win is through love, and that is got to start, if you're in hatred, right, through pity and sorrow for that other side, and then through listening, understanding the whole picture. True solutions are about consensus and working towards that. You don't hear the word consensus much anymore. This is what I mean about the human race. I think we just need to really refocus. We need to get on the same page regarding right and wrong, good and bad, what business is about, what government is about, and implement true solutions in all these different areas. And once you're imbibing, right, as a being, this goodness, and you're projecting it out, we change the whole vibration of the world. We change the whole energy flow from a negative to a positive. And that's the whole point here. It's like, either we want to live up to these higher values. I don't care if you're a Christian, a Muslim, an Indian, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what we are. We're all humans. And this idea that we're so separate that we must war on each other and kill each other and hate each other is the dark side talking to you. You know what I mean? You can just respect somebody the other side of the world, don't have to hang out with them and love them. To where the point where you want to be friends, but you can still love them as people. And just
We can love them as people, and we have to love them as people. Last word, because we got less than 30 minutes. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to hear more, learn more about you?
Sure.
Just tell our viewers and our listeners how they can contact you or enlist your services.
The website, the hub for everything is 7wayme. That's the number 7, WAY.me. And on there, you can find everything. All the shows I've been on, videos, how to get the book, how to join the masterclass, links to all my social media. I just want to say, join me out there, participate. This is the only way this is going to work. I can't do this alone. And I'm only doing this, hopefully, to help make a big change in the world. So. Big
change. Hey, Andrew, I want to thank you so much. I got to get you back on the show again real soon. I'd like to thank Dr. Andrew Sees for being an absolutely fantastic co-host today. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my viewers and our listeners for taking the time to listen to the James Cooley Show. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley. See you tomorrow.